Hey, how are you guys doing this evening? My name is Wendy Sellers, and I am the Director of Empower Credit Management Services. And what we do is we assist individuals to get back on track with their credit um, and their financial situation to help them um, be more educated and know exactly how credit affects themselves and their families. So this evening, I just want to kind of talk about one of the great parts of our protection plan, which is the will and trust. We have so many people in our society today who just kind of go through life not planning for the worst. I know, we always want to think positively and not ever think that situations are going to happen in our lives, but we also, must make sure that our family um, and our property, homes and cars and all of those assets are taken care of just in case something happens to us as individuals and we pass away. Or we happen to have to go into the hospital for an extended amount of time. Um, we have to plan for the worst and expect for the best. So right now, I'm just going to kind of show you that aspect of our UCES protection program. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so right here you will see um, this is what you will see if you become a member of the United Credit Education Services. Um, and it just really gives you a lot of great information, um, not just for, restoring your credit or being, financially stable, but it also gives you a lot of other great information to help you in your life's journey. So over here, we will see where it says will and trust. Here we go. Okay. So if you're a member of UCES, it gives you this great option to learn about a will and trust. And this is part of your membership, your monthly membership that goes along with your credit restoration. And it's a great part of being a member. A will, if you just go to an attorney's office, will probably run you anywhere from $2,500 to $4,000 for an attorney to be able to draw up um, what they call your last will and testament or your last will and trust. But with this program, it also gives you, the opportunity to be able to download, print, and fill out your own information as far as your will and trust is concerned. Um, so what you would do, you would go into your back office, go to the will and trust section, and then you would just click on it, and it will bring up, just everything that you need to know about filling out your will and trust. So it will start off with your personal information, any children that you might have. Um, it goes into any deceased children that you might have, and it always gives you great information on the side to let you know what you need to put in these sections and whether or not you need to fill out these sections. Over on the right, I mean, yeah, on the left, it will go into information about your will. Um, Right here, you can see it showed you what an executor is, how to appoint your executor or your personal representative. That's exactly what an executor means. Um, And then you just kind of go in and fill out the information as the directions instructs you to do. Um, and this is one of the biggest parts of having a will. If you're just so happen to be, a young person who has children under the age of 18, you have to always take into consideration if something happens to you, where are those minor children going? So this goes into appointing a guardian for your minor children. Um, and the one disturbing fact about minor children, if a parent, God forbid, one or both parents pass away unexpectedly, is, people always think, well, if something happens to me, my minor children will automatically go to a grandparent or aunt or older sister. Um, but that's not how the law works. Um, if you do not have documentation stating that this is what you want to happen to your minor children under the age of 18, guess what? 9 times out of 10, they will become a ward of the state, which means that those minor children will go into foster care. It will take uh, relatives, I was trying to think the word, relatives to petition the court, petition whatever organization that CPS, whatever organization has the child in foster care, petition the court to be able to get custody of those minor children. So if you're a mom or dad and you have minor children and you do not have a will, you need to get one like yesterday, because you never know what's going to happen. God forbid you get in a car accident, God forbid, with all this COVID-19 pandemic and illnesses going around today, some people go into the hospital and, come out a week later. Some people go into the hospital and never see the outside of that hospital again. What is going to happen to your minor children? So, that's information that people really need to consider, is what's going to happen to your minor children. Okay, so that's also included in your UCES protection plan. Another great aspect of your will and trust is your financial power of attorney. So your financial power of attorney allows you to appoint someone you trust to make decisions for you, or in regard to your assets in the event that you are unavailable or unable to do so. So when accidents, sudden illness, planned or unexpected absences occur, you may need someone to manage your financial affairs. The power of attorney will cover tasks like writing or endorsing checks, paying your bills, managing your property, and handling other money matters, including complex business transactions. So, what does that mean? Of course, God forbid something happens to you and you pass away. Um, you're not going to be able to do anything in regards to your financial business, financial transactions. So having a financial power of attorney, somebody that you trust to be able to close out bank accounts, to close out, different bills that you have in your name, as far as your rent is concerned, and as far as utility bills or different things like that are concerned, as far as medical bills are concerned. You have to have somebody to be able to oversee those transactions. And if you have not appointed somebody to do that prior to you passing away, or you being incapacitated, being in a hospital bed on a ventilator, or not being able to make those cognitive decisions on your own, that's going to be an extreme issue, um, especially when it comes to bank accounts, life insurance policies, things of that nature. It is very important that you have these things taken care of prior to a catastrophic situation in your life. So again, UCES protection plan allows you to do all of that right here in your back office. It's at um, your disposal to go in and fill out this information. Okay, next we have another very important aspect of your will and trust, which is your healthcare power of attorney. So planning your healthcare power of attorney is extremely important. And people just don't think about these things. And it's so, so very important that you take care of um, these issues prior to something happening to you or a spouse or parent. It's just very important. So a healthcare power of an attorney are written documents that tells your doctors what kind of treatment you'd like to have if you become unable to make or communicate medical decisions. For instance, say you're in a coma, you're on a ventilator where you cannot communicate for yourself. The healthcare power of an attorney is there to let the doctors know what you want, to have done as far as your life is concerned. A power of attorney that deals with the end of life decisions may be referred to as an advance directive, a proxy, or a living will. Depending on which state you live in, the healthcare power of attorney, which comes with your FES will and trust, and FES and UCES is all one program, so it all kind of works together. Has the appropriate form for your state. So each state has a different form that they need to fill out to have those wishes relayed and documented as a healthcare power of attorney. Um, let's see. So federal law requires hospitals, nursing homes, and other institutions that receive Medicare or Medicaid funds to provide written information regarding end of life decisions to all patients upon admission. And I don't know if anybody has ever been to the hospital for an extended stay or a couple of days. You always have that person that's going to ask you, do you have a healthcare power of attorney? Do you have a living will? So that's information that's extremely important in today's society, to be able to make those decisions for yourself before the worst happens. Um, Another federal law is that Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, which is HIPAA. I know everybody has heard of that. Limits the information, limits the use, disclosure, or release of health information to those who are specifically authorized by you to receive such information. If this information is released to persons or entities not authorized to receive it, those that release such information will be subject to federal, civil, and criminal penalties. It is critical that your healthcare power of attorney addresses this important law to ensure that your physical health is protected in the event of your disability. So your healthcare power of attorney is extremely, extremely important. You have some people who say, God forbid, if I get into a car accident, um, and say, for instance, the doctors declare you brain dead, that they don't want to live on a ventilator. So that is a decision that you can make prior to um, a disastrous occurrence happening to you, such as a car accident. If you go into a coma, you can, let in your healthcare power of attorney can tell the doctors, okay, after 7 to 14 days, if I'm not breathing on my own, I want you to take me off a ventilator. I don't want to lay in the bed for 90, 120 days. That's totally your decision to make. You know, some people say, you know, as long as my heart is pumping blood through my veins, leave me alone. That's a decision that you have to make. And another, you know, big aspect of having your healthcare power of attorney is that number one, you're making that decision for yourself. And number two, if you have children, you're not leaving that decision up to your children. That will take the burden off of them trying to decide, what does my mom want me to do as far as her life is concerned? What does my dad want me to do as far as his life is concerned? If you make that decision prior to, then the children will, you know, not have to make that decision. And they'll say, you know, mom or dad or grandma or grandpa knew what they wanted to do for their lives. And, you know, we want to respect their wishes. So the healthcare power attorney is extremely, extremely important. And with the UCES FES plan, like I said, it's included in your monthly subscription. The payment that you make on a monthly basis, your will and trust is covered under it. Okay. All right. Next one is your living trust and your trustee. And it gives you all of the information that you need. When choosing a person to be the trustee of your living trust, you need to answer one question: who could step into my place and carry out my wishes? That's the only, you know, question that you need to answer. That could be your best friend, that could be your husband, your wife, your children, you know, your mom, your dad, whoever you decide um, can step into those shoes and carry out your wishes. So that's really important. It is vitally important to choose someone that you have full faith and confidence in. You should feel at ease that he or she will be able to carry out the terms of the trust, to maintain or distribute the trust assets as appropriate, and keep the beneficiaries informed of the status of the trust. The most common choices are, like I said, your spouse. And if you're unmarried or your spouse is unable to serve, an adult child, a close relative, or even a lawyer or an attorney. So you just kind of go through, put down who you want to be your trustee. And then it's always important to put down a first alternate in case something happens to that trustee, then your first alternate will take over that role. Because, you know, if you're married and you put down your husband or your wife, and God forbid, you both in a car accident, you both pass away, then you need to have somebody else that's going to be able to step into that role and take over that, you know, important role as far as your assets and all of those good things are concerned. So you can just kind of go across the tab up at the top, and it will take you to all the different sections that you need to be aware of. Real estate, you know, who's going to look over your real estate. Let's see, this one is gifts and donations. Gifts of tangible personal property, jewelry, collectibles, furniture. And if I'm not mistaken, this is if you have a certain person that you want personal property to go to, that, you know, might be different from your family members, your children. If you know, had an organization that you wanted to donate, say you had a Monet on your wall and you wanted to donate that Monet to the museum in a particular state, you could put that in your will and trust also. Okay, distribution. In the previous section, you selected a trustee for your living trust, indicated the assets you want transferred into your trust, and made specific gifts of money or property. In this section, you may indicate any general instructions and or information you would like to provide to your trustee. Include, but are not limited to, burial and or funeral arrangements, locations of important documents, or any other general instructions. Wow, this is like super, super important. So on top of all of the other like super pertinent information that you need to put into your will, um, UCES and FES, thought of having a specific section where you can put down anything else that was not covered in the other sections that we just went over. So if you have a certain amount in your trust fund and you want a specific amount to go um, to the Cancer Society, or you have a certain amount that you want to go to the Wounded Warriors a veterans organization, or you wanted to go to the ASPCA or whatever organization that you happen to be a part of, you can put that in this section. Um, so that's really that's awesome right there, that it had that section that you could, have anything else that you wanted to put down. If you have important papers that are in a lockbox in the second closet on the right on the third floor in your apartment building or whatever, that's the information that you need to put in this section. So, like I said, God forbid you pass away, you're incapacitated, you can't speak for yourself. Your trustee can go to this will and know exactly where everything is. If have burial or funeral wishes, if you don't want your body at the church or the funeral home, if you just want a picture, if you want a certain song played, if you don't want a funeral at all, this is the information that you need to put in this section. If you want to be cremated, you don't want to be buried, you want to be in a mausoleum, whatever, you have your wishes, you put that in this section. And, it's your life, these are your assets, these are your wishes. So, it's important that you convey and relay this information to your loved ones. So that's a super important section right here. So remainder beneficiaries. In this section, you will indicate how you want to distribute all the assets of your living trust, remaining after your specific gifts or money and property have been paid over to the individuals and charities you selected earlier. The person or persons who take this final distribution of assets from your living trust are called remainder beneficiaries, because they get everything that remains after all expenses and other gifts have been paid. The remainder beneficiaries are also your primary heirs. In other words, in most situations, these are the persons who will get the bulk of your estates, assuming your other gifts are fairly small. So it says that there are 5 options for designating your remainder beneficiaries, and you can only select one. First to spouse, then to descendants, which will be your children. Second is descendants only by right of representation, and that will be just your children. Next one is first of life estate, then your descendants. So, and then that's where you just get to pick who you want to have the bulk of your estate. Um, so this is really, really a great part of FES and the UCS program. And in my opinion, this is well worth the $89 that you pay per month. So along with restoring your credit, along with having information on how to budget, you know, all the other great parts of this protection plan, you get this awesome My Care plan, which allows you to fill out and have your own will and trust. So, I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. So it also gives you a quick little video that you can view. And let's kind of take a quick pickup.
The My Care plan is an important part of your financial education.
So I just wanted to show just some brief information or a brief part of the video so you can see that, you know, not only can you read the information, but it also gives you great videos to explain step by step what you need to do to get this will and trust filled out. So that is all I have this evening. I just wanted to kind of, you know, go through that, and I will also come back and do some other brief information about all the other great aspects that United Credit Education Services and their protection plan offer. To those who are, you know, interested in getting your credit fixed, if you join UCES, you're not only getting credit repair, which, you know, I know is very important to people, but you're also getting so many more services included in your monthly membership fee that can, you know, just really be a benefit to your life and to, you know, your financial future. So with that being said, I think I will go ahead and, let's see, unshare my screen. So if you have any questions, I will, you know, leave my website in the comments below. You can also comment that you would like more information. Please join my Facebook group, which is Empower Credit Management Services. Also, you know, hit me up in my messenger. I'll be more than happy to answer any additional questions that you might have. And, you know, just really consider becoming a member of UCES. It has personally changed my life. I would have never thought about, you know, obtaining a will. But, you know, UCES made it just that much easier for me to be able to do it. And not having to come out of pocket $5,000 to get a will and trust, you know, done by an attorney, to be able to do that on my own and put the information that, you know, I want to see happen if something happens to me, and then just submitting that to our credit attorneys, um, that just made it so much easier. So again, please consider joining. I would love to have you as a customer. I, you know, hold my customers very dearly, and I make sure that you know, they have all the information that they need to be successful. So with that being said, you guys have a great rest of your evening, and I will talk to you soon. All right, bye-bye.